Hello. Today I would like to talk to you about reciprocating piston air compressors and their uses. Compressed air is the same as the air that surrounds us in the atmosphere. When we need it pressurized, we compress it into a tank using a device called an air compressor. There are many different kinds of air compressors. The one I want to talk to you about today is a reciprocating piston air compressor. Works very similarly to a two-stroke internal combustion engine. It takes rotational energy and turns it into reciprocal energy, whereas an internal combustion engine does the opposite. It takes reciprocal energy and turns it into rotational energy. So in this situation, we actually have to feed the rotational energy into the system. Compressed air is very important. We use it to do work. It's like a form of a battery. It can store energy. So as the air gets compressed, energy is put into the system, and it's held in a tank, and that tank is held like a spring. It is held in tension, compression, and as the air needs to be used, can be let out of the tank at a metered rate through a regulator. This can be used in many different applications. We can use it at our homes for checking the tires on your car, blowing up your kids' tires on their bike, inflating sports balls, all kinds of things, blowing off the driveway. In commercial uses, they use it in the automotive industry a lot. Tons of different air tools, air ratchets, hammers, etc. They also use it for inflation purposes. In construction, it is used for also tools, but different kinds, nail guns, and the like. It's also used for paint spraying, things like that. Industrial uses, they use it for automated systems a lot. I worked at a paper mill, and we had to have air pressure on the machines at all time. The pneumatic systems are what fed the machines that actually did the wrapping and the cutting operations for the paper mill. Medical uses, I worked at a hospital, and medical air, well, it's highly filtered, still just comes off of a normal air compressor. It's used for drills, bone saws, all kinds of different pneumatic style tools. As mentioned earlier, we have to take rotational energy from an input to turn into the reciprocal energy in order to pump the air through the system. Typically, this rotational energy comes from electric motors. In an industrial type situation, you're going to find three-phase power coming in, so you use a three-phase electrical motor. Whereas in a home instance or in light commercial, you're more likely to see single-phase power coming into the motor. So like your home ones, you can just plug into the wall. There's also something to be said for internal combustion engines that actually power these compressors. They're not as efficient, but they allow you to have an air compressor out in the middle of nowhere as long as you have fuel. You don't have to be near an electrical supply. So in a sense, they come in real handy, especially in construction areas where the power hasn't been run yet. Here I've drawn a very simple diagram of the compressor, as a whole. So down here, you've got what would be the crankcase, and generally there'll be oil up to about there, and that fills or that lubricates this crankshaft and this connecting rod. This is the piston that does all the work. It pushes air up out of the cylinder. This little check valve here will open, and that goes to the tank. As it pulls down, this check valve will pull shut due to suction, and this one will open, and this allows air into the system from the atmosphere. Same cycle, as it goes through the cycle, pushes this one closed, pushes this one open, allows air to be compressed. So it's just like a series of one-way check valves, basically, that allows air in but not out. I'd like to thank you for listening to my presentation today, and I'll leave you with this. Compressed air has given the world a tremendous resource, and it's been instrumental for industrial innovation. Between compressed air, steam power, internal combustion engines, and I would say probably hydraulics, 95% of the work that needs to get done in industry gets done. It's a very, very important step in the process, and it's very important that we understand how it all works.